A controversial voice note doing the rounds on social media is being investigated by the SA Human Rights Commission. In it, a woman can be heard saying that black men are worse than pit bulls and that black men should be banned, shot and killed. Of course, pit bulls have been making headlines recently following several fatal attacks on children. There have been growing calls for the breed to be banned. The SAHRC has called the audio clip by the woman disturbing. Let's get more now from the SAHRC's Commissioner, Andre Gaum. Andre, thank you for your time this evening, as always. I don't know if it's fair to say, but for me, this has got almost very little to do with the pit bull argument and more to do with very dark, very misled racial beliefs by a certain individual who thought that they were voice noting into a safe space. And we all know on social media there's no such thing as a safe place. Your initial reaction to hearing this awful voice note?
Yeah, no, it's absolutely awful. And as you say, it has nothing to do with the pit bull issue as such at all. The Commission is in possession of the voice note in question, allegedly from Belinda Maga. The content of the note is horrific and deplorable. It no doubt constitutes prima facie hate speech of the most horrible kind. And as a result, the Commission's Gauteng Provincial Office will send a letter of demand to the respondent, being allegedly Belinda Maga. And based on a response, the Commission will decide on its next steps.
We do live in a world fueled more and more by what happens on social media. Are you finding that in the work that you're doing as the SAHRC that your teams are learning to navigate it within the realms of law that doesn't always catch up that quickly with technology? Do you feel like you've caught up and you now know how to navigate when you are presented with a case like this?
Yes, no, absolutely. We are definitely catching up. We're also soon to launch next year our social media charter, because we are aware that social media is these days playing a major role in terms of unfair discrimination, hate speech, and the like. So yes, we are really trying to catch up in terms of that. We've even had in the Tracy Ziller matter, for example, cooperation with Twitter. We don't know how things are going to pan out now with the new dispensation there, but yes, we're very much aware of developments, and we have wonderful young people involved with the Commission as well that know these things and understand it and so on, and we're adapting with times, most definitely.
Now that's what we can do within the realms of the law and the technical aspects of it. But I'm sure you must be disturbed, however, with how quickly a voice note like this can spread and the damage that it can do long even before it ends up in anybody's desk in your office.
Yes, no, absolutely. And it's amazing how people don't really understand that. I mean, this has been a WhatsApp group, apparently. Let's say a pro-pit bull WhatsApp group, and then someone there picked up on this message and decided to, escalate it outward, and that is what happens. I mean, for me, it is quite interesting that people don't understand yet how social media is really not only confined to a small group or to an individual or two, but that it is actually out there. It's actually publication of, in this case, clearly prima facie hate speech.
Now, according to Times Live, the media outlet, the media platform, they seem to have caught up with this woman, even though she denied that she did send the voice note. And in the interview, she also lets loose, along with saying that her diabetes was out of whack and therefore she said things that she doesn't necessarily believe. That's a conversation for another day. But she does spew quite a bit of, You know, this fake news stuff where people latch onto things that they get in these private WhatsApp groups, in these Facebook groups that they're on. And again, just an example of how dangerous these internet platforms are, where there's no form of validating or checking any stories that are doing the rounds. And people latch onto this within their little communities, whether it's online or physical, and they hold on to it. And sadly, it fuels a lot of discrimination and misled views of the world.
No, absolutely. So, I mean, it goes to show how, you know, what degree of damage these social platforms can do if you try to use it for other purposes and problematic purposes and so on. So, yeah, I mean, it's a matter of it's a new world we're living in terms of social platforms and social media and the like, and we really need to you know, all come to understand what it's all about, and understand that, you know, I mean, it's like making a public statement. And that's what's happened here. It's like making a public statement. And the statement has been horrific and completely unacceptable. And then you can indeed land in trouble. It's not a brieflace fire anymore. And even if things of this nature is being said there, that is also obviously deplorable and unacceptable and horrific. But yeah, I think people need to wake up and understand that, you know, this is not the way to go around doing things, and that, but it also shows that deep down in the psyche of many South Africans, unfortunately, and I suppose this is a broader phenomenon worldwide, but I mean, it's just unimaginable that people can think these things and then actually get themselves to say these kinds of things. It's just shocking. So it says, unfortunately, a lot about our nation as well.
Yeah.
And that there is still a lot wrong with, you know, how we conduct ourselves.
Yeah, when I read the transcript of this voice note, the first thing that hit me was, I can't believe this person said this out loud. And it obviously wasn't the first time that she's expressed views, or this person has expressed views like that, and that she has nobody in her space that can check those views and can tell her that they are incorrect and frankly wrong and evil, really, if you look at it that way. Just finally, before I let you go, Andre, your advice to people who are in what they believe are these private WhatsApp groups or private Facebook groups. I mean, you have to remind people that the law and basic human rights don't disappear just because the group is private, or you have to apply for somebody to allow you into that group.
No, I think that is a very important thing to say. But, you know, for me, more concerning is that people are actually willing to say these kinds of things, and that is actually what is going on in their minds. And that is why the South African Human Rights Commission is launching a new initiative next year called Shine. And we have made that public already and so on. But Shine is about the social harmony national effort. And we really believe that, you know, there's a lot to be done to really create a culture of human rights in the country, and social harmony is central to that. And that is really why we're doing that, because it appears that still, after all we've gone through, after the new democratic dispensation and almost 30 years since then, you know, these kinds of things still happen. And that is of great, great concern to us. And it should be to all people in South Africa. And that is why next year will be the year of Shine, Social Harmony initiative of South Africans. And we want to call on all South Africans to really participate in that. More details would be, you know, made available soon. But I mean, how we can still have people saying these kinds of things after all these years of democracy is really, it's shocking. It's just shocking, and we really need to collaboratively make amends to this, and show the nation and the world that this is not the way to go about.
Absolutely. If people find themselves on a social media platform and they come across something like this, obviously it can be reported to those authorities of that social media platform. There's various processes in that regard. Could they also take it to the SAHRC? How would they do that?
No, absolutely. They can complain directly to the South African Human Rights Commission, and we encourage them to do that, because we also have collaborative relationships and so on with the social media platforms and so on. And it's best to report it to the South African Human Rights Commission, so that we can, look into the facts and look into the matter and actually take it up with all involved.
Okay. We're going to leave it there. Thank you so much. That's the SAHRC's Commissioner Andre Gam joining us there virtually. We thank him for his time this evening, as always.